Hey everybody, Reaper here again with another video. This is a comic book haul video. This is comic book haul number 48. I think it's 48. If not, I'll put the little correction inside. I lose track of these things, especially since I do them like every other month. So again, I lose track. But anyway, this is a special comic book haul because it's strictly EC, sort of. Now I know a lot of you out there, they don't like, don't really collect DC. No movies coming out for you to like them. But I really like EC. And for any of you that have watched maybe a previous video of mine, that EC is one of the main reasons why I got into collecting to begin with. So it's very important to me, and it's really cool for me to put together an EC haul. So for those of you that are interested, you're in for a real treat. For those of you that are not really that interested, I would hope that you would stick around anyway, just to look at some of the really cool covers. So I have my notes here because whenever I do an EC, or at least from now on, I don't think I did this much in the past, but from now on, to make it a little bit more relatable to media, because like I said, if there's no movie or TV show, no one cares. Or maybe that's too much of a generalization, but that's the way it seems. What I'll do is, a lot of you, I think, are familiar with the HBO Tales from the Crypt show, and a lot of the books I have in this haul, whether they're new to my collection or upgrades, because we got a mix of both, mostly new, I will tell you what story appeared, what story was in that book that appeared on the HBO show, just to give you a little bit of media, to this EC haul. So what I'm going to start out with is this pile right here. Now, like I said, this is mainly an EC haul, sort of. Let me get into the sort of. I have a couple books just a couple that are not EC. The first one, let me show you. And there's a reason why I included them in an EC horror haul, because it has some interesting themes to it, or there's something about the cover, or whatever. We'll start off with this one. Dick Tracy number 50. This is these Dick Tracy books came out in the 1950s, I think even in the 1940s, 1960s and all that stuff, but they were reprints that originally appeared in the strip, which I think were in the 30s and the 40s and all that stuff. Dick Tracy 50 here is the death of the villain Shoulders. Now, for anybody that knows a little bit about Dick Tracy, that was one of the main inspirations for Batman's Rogue Gallery. There are other inspirations too. I'm well aware of the other inspirations. But Dick Tracy had a very colorful Rogues Gallery, and so did Batman. Batman followed suit. But why is this here? Okay, you said it's mainly an EC haul. Why is this here? Take a look at this cover. Look at it. First off, this is a nice 7.0 copy. Look, Shoulders, this is supposed to be Shoulders. He's tripping off the ladder, and you see he gets shot by his own gun, goes right into his head, and the bullet leaves the back of his head. This is such an underrated, underappreciated book. It's kind of bonkers, because you look at it, it has that goofy, cartoonish strip Dick Tracy artwork. Well, that's what you expect, right? It's all drawn by Chester Gould, the guy who created Dick Tracy. So you look at it, it's like, oh, okay, whatever. You don't really expect it, but when you really look at it, like, my God, you actually see the bullet going right through his head, which kills him in the story. Spoiler alert, right? You would expect. He trips, and it sort of gives away the ending, because this is all just a bunch of when Shoulders comes back and how Dick Tracy captures him, and this is what happens. When Dick Tracy's about to apprehend him, he trips off the ladder, and the gun goes off, and he shoots himself square right between the eyes, and then you see the bullet. There's no blood. It's not gory in that sense, but it's a pretty cool book to have. I'm like, wow, that is so underappreciated. We're so, or at least a lot of us are so obsessed with pre-code horror books, EC included, that have really graphic covers. You got the Black Cat 50 with the guy's face melting off, and those Chamber of Chills books, and of course the ECs, and some of those crime books that had come out, the decapitation covers and all that. But these really fall under the radar, and they're so affordable too, for anybody that likes that sort of thing. All right, now let's get to EC. Here's the first time I brought this title into my collection. We have the new Two-Fisted Tales, a nice 6.0 copy, number 37. Okay, So what does this have to do with the show? Well, there was an episode called Showdown. I'm going to show the photos for all of them, not just Two-Fisted Tales, just to make it a little bit more aesthetically appeasing. All right, now we're going to start with shock suspense stories, and then we'll get to Haunt of Fear and Vault of Horror. Because there's no Tales from the Crypt, because I finished my Tales from the Crypt last year, and I only need to upgrade 3 books, or at least I think I need to upgrade 3 books, and I haven't been able to upgrade those books yet. So, no Tales from the Crypt. But we have a ton of Vault of Horror, we have a decent amount of Haunt of Fear, and we have some shock. Now, these books I've been acquiring since the fall of 2021. All right? So some of you that follow me on Instagram, you've probably already seen these. But now I'm going to put them in the video, in a collection haul video, and talk a little bit about them briefly. So I'll just go in order, and I'll save the CGCs for last. Okay? So here we have an upgrade of Shock Suspense Stories #1. I had a 3.5 copy. This is a 5.5 copy now. You know, sometimes, and there's going to be a topic of discussion, low grade is better than no grade. I'm going to get to that in the discussion. But the way I look at it is sometimes I'll get a low grade book, as a placeholder. Something that I will replace down the line, because when the mid grades and the high grades go up, it tends to raise the tide for even the low grades. So what I paid for Shock Suspense Stories #1 of 3.5 several years ago, obviously I got my money back for it, and then some, which helped contribute to pay for this nice 5.5 copy. In this book here, before I move on to the next one, we have from the Vault of Horror movie, the Amicus, the Vault of Horror movie, 1972 I think it was, or 73, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. We have The Neat Job. And from the HBO show, I believe season 3, we have Yellow. You remember that one? With Kirk Douglas and his son Eric Douglas, and Dan Aykroyd was in it, and Lance Henriksen was in it. It was the last episode, I believe, of the 3rd season, and it was about almost an hour long. They shot that. It was a much different format, still horror based, but much different format than all of the other Tales from the Crypt episodes before that and after that. It was really, really good episode. So you had those 2 from media. Now we have 2 more from media with this one, with Shock Suspense Stories #9. This is an upgrade. I originally had a #9 that I sold off a few years ago. It might have been a 3.0 copy. I purchased this one recently from Mike, sellingcomics.com. I had to put that plug in there, but he didn't tell me to do that. And Mike, Luther Manning, they do the unboxings. So I bought this from him. This is a nice 4.5 copy. He gave it a nice press, and it was a great job. But the colors are so beautiful. Anyway, so what's the deal with, what's the media relation with Shock Suspense Stories #9? 2 episodes, Carrion Death and Came the Dawn. Carrion Death was season 3's premiere, one of the 3 premiere episodes with, I think his name was Kyle MacLachlan. He was in that movie Dune. And the other one, Came the Dawn, I believe that one was season 5. Right? Here we have Shock Suspense Stories #14. 2 more in this one. This is a nice 4.0 copy, maybe a 4.5 copy. A little bit of it's a little messy up here, but still very nice, intact, structurally sound copy of Shock Suspense Stories #14. So, what are the 2 episodes in this one? Well, the first one comes from season 6. It was the closing episode. This was actually the last American episode, because season 7 did an all British thing, all British cast, at locations, and obviously in England and all that stuff. This was the last American episode. It was called You Murderer. It's the one where they took archive footage of Humphrey Bogart and put him in along with John Lithgow and Elizabeth, what's her name? Isabella Rossellini or whatever her name is. I think that's her name. It was that episode. A lot of Tales from the Crypt episodes showed up in shock suspense stories. You know, you'd think, oh, well, Tales from the Crypt. No, a lot of course, Tales from the Crypt, a lot were there, and of course, Vault of Horror too, and Haunt of Fear, but a lot came from shock suspense stories. And a couple came from crime suspense stories too. So it was You Murderer, and I believe the other one, yes, As Ye Sow. So it was all that was season 5. That one was with Hector Elizondo, and he was suspicious about his wife, that she was having an affair with a priest. So he hired a hitman to kill the priest, but it turns out she wasn't having an affair and all that stuff. It was a really good episode. All right, we have the last shock book for this haul. We have shock, and only one story for media, for the Tales from the Crypt show. Shock suspense stories number, was it 16? Yeah. This is it has the Are You a Red Dupe on the cover. I mean, that's one of the things that when you look this book up, it says, Are You a Red Dupe? It has that, I guess, editorial. All right. But when it comes to the HBO show, My Brother's Keeper, I believe that was, let me just double check, I believe that was season 3. No, it was actually season 2. My Brother's Keeper. It was the one with the Siamese twins. They were attached at the hip. And yeah, that's what it was about. So that's it for shock suspense stories for this haul. So let's get into Haunt of Fear. Here's a purchase I made. Haunt of Fear number 6. It doesn't have anything from the Tales from the Crypt show. So it's medialess. Haunt of Fear number 6. As you can see, it's got that peace out. But if it didn't have that peace out, this would be a 5.5. Maybe a 5.0 all day. So because it has that peace out, I think I'm going to give it a 3.5. But other than that, it's a great book. It's got some creases on the side, no big deal. Cover firmly attached, centerfold firmly attached, no tears, nothing. It's really, really nice. No rust on staples. A couple creases though, like I said. These single-digit Haunt of Fears are getting, same thing with the earlier Vault of Horrors. There are no single-digit Vault of Horrors. But the earlier Vault of Horrors, the ones that are before number 20, and the single-digit Haunt of Fears, they're getting very, very hard to get. Very hard to get. If you find them, and you find them for a good price, congratulations, consider yourself lucky. But it's usually a bit of a hustle and a challenge to get them. Here's Haunt of Fear number 10. Again, nothing with the media, no media involved in this. But here we have number 10. This is an upgrade for me. This is a nice, I would say a 5.5 copy. I originally had maybe a 3.5 copy before, and I sold it. I don't know if I even showed this. Maybe I showed this off in a previous haul. I don't know. Probably did. I don't remember. But if I did, I apologize, but here it is again. Like I said, I got quite a few Haunt of Fears. Another one that has nothing to do with the HBO show, Haunt of Fear number 13. You know how long it took me to get a decent copy of this? This is like a 4.5, maybe on a good day a 5.0. This book has been so hard for me to get, and I love it. It's got some great stories in this one. That's why it bothered me so much that I couldn't find a copy. But I've had 2 other copies of this, briefly. First one was a 2.0 maybe. I sold that off. Then I got another one which was like a 4.0, 4.5, but it was restored, so I had to get rid of it. Yeah, it was restored. There was glue holding the end part of the cover to the wrap, the first wrap, and I was like, I don't know about that. So I was really bummed out because it was a really nice copy. But then I eventually got this copy, and I made it about maybe a month later after that. So it was really nice to finally get this copy and bring it home. So Haunt of Fear number 13. Here's another one. And again, nothing with the HBO show. Yeah, but so far we're not getting anything with the HBO show with these. But don't worry, it's going to pick up, especially when we get to Vault of Horror and these last few Haunt of Fears. So anyway, we have Haunt of Fear number 18. This is a nice 4.0 copy, and I didn't expect to get this anytime soon. You know, like I said, I want to get books. I want to finish my Haunt of Fear run and all that, so eventually I would have to get this. But it wasn't one of the first books I wanted to get. There were other books on the list that I eventually got, and you're going to see them in this haul, that I wanted to get before I got this one. Yeah, but it's a crazy cover. I have to look at it several times to really figure out what the heck is going on this cover. But it's, really cool cover. But it's a 4.0. But as you can see, it's got some creases on the side, slight little tear, like tape pulls at the top. No big deal, but the colors are really sharp, vibrant. Really nice book. But anyway, like I said, this wasn't one of the first ones I would pick to get out of the Vault of Horror, the Haunt of Fear run. But it popped up, and some guy was selling a Haunt of Fear that I wanted, and he showed a bunch of other pictures of other books that he was selling, and this was one of them. And I just said out of curiosity, what's the grade? What's the grade you would give that, and what's the price? He said the grade, and he said a price that I couldn't turn down. I got it, and yes, it truly is that grade. He's a strict grader, or at least a grader like me, where we agreed. And yeah, that's why I got this earlier than I thought I would. Okay, now this one here, I believe there's one in this from the HBO show. If I'm wrong, I'll make sure the correction's at the bottom here. So if I'm wrong with any of these, I'll make sure the correction's at the bottom. But here's Haunt of Fear number 23. This book is a pain in the ass to get. Really is. This is a 4.0 copy from the HBO show. I believe it's season 5, Creep Course. It's a pretty good episode, and it's a pretty good story in here. But like I was saying, this book is was a pain in the ass to get. I mean, I was fortunate to get a decent price on it, but I see so many of them, or at least people trying to sell lower grades for ridiculous amounts of money. But that makes it hard to really track down, or at least in certain areas. This one is a fabulous book. This has 2 from the HBO show. Let me show it off. Haunt of Fear number 24. Originally, I purchased the Haunt of Fear 24 last year. And it had a piece out like my Haunt 6. Oh, no big deal. And I thought it was pretty good. It was vibrant, just like this. This is a nice 6570 copy. Vibrant like this. But then when I looked at it, it had a big spine tear. And I was like, oh, God. So I had to get rid of it. Like I was telling you with the Haunt of Fear 18, I bought this from the same guy. This was the one that caught my attention. So I was very happy to upgrade this. So like I was saying, when it comes to media, Season 2, The Secret. I think that was the last episode, or one of the last episodes. The one where the boy's at the adoption home, and he doesn't know anything about his parents, and this eccentric couple adopts him. They're really strange. And it turns out that they're vampires. And then, of course, the boy has a secret of his own. The other one is actually from Season 1. I should have said this first. Only Sin Deep. It was one of the first 6 episodes. It's with Leah. She was in Back to the Future. What's her name? Leah Thompson. Where she played this prostitute or whatever, and I forget the rest of it. I wasn't really impressed with the episode, but that's also in that book. The last Haunt of Fear, it doesn't have anything, or at least I don't think anything, from the HBO show, but I got this back around Halloween last year. It's another nice 6.5 copy, maybe even 7.0. Haunt of Fear number 27. Great book. And that's it for Haunt of Fear. And this video I know has already been going on for so long. Well, I'm sorry. This is an EC video. I like talking about EC. Alright, we got a bunch of Vault of Horrors now. This could have been 2 hauls. But it's hard enough to get people to tune in with one when it comes to EC. Okay, the first one's an upgrade. Vault of Horror 13. This is a nice 3.5 copy. It's I had like a 2.5, and I was happy to upgrade this. I like this book a lot. The centerfold is detached, and that's why I give it a 3.5. Other than that, it's got this. It's fine. It's creases, but it's not missing chunks. It's nothing else like that. No staining, I don't think. I don't remember. But nice 3.5 copy. This is something that I would like to upgrade one day to a 5. But again, Vault of Horror, 13, because it's considered issue 2. It's so hard to find, and when you find it, it's so expensive. like I said, fortunately, I had a copy of Vault of Horror 13 to sell to help me pay for this. So, media. I think it's one episode, Doctor of Horror. Check it out. Here's one. Vault of Horror number 20. This is a 3.0 copy. It's got some long creases on the cover and a piece of tape that I think I'm going to have a certain someone take off. But it was nice to get this book. It's another one that's kind of hard to find. It has 2 episodes from the HBO show. The first one, I believe, is season 3, The Reluctant Vampire, with and I think the other one is called Revenge is the Nuts, but nice copy of number 21. This is probably like a 5.5 copy. Might even be, nah, it's 5.5. Yeah, this part right here is not going to get a 6, but it's a nice copy. Nothing from the HBO show, just a pretty cool cover. Here's one that really needs to be upgraded. This is like a 2.5 copy. Again, it's a placeholder, but pretty cool cover though. I like more covers. But there's nothing, I don't believe there's anything in this from the HBO show. This is Vault of Horror number 24. As you can see, there's pieces out and over here. It's definitely something that will be for sale one day. But I gotta wait until I find a better copy. But it's a placeholder for now. Certainly not a keeper. This next one, well, these next 2 are definitely keepers. Wait. Yeah, actually, I was about to say there's one here in this one. Vault of Horror number 27. Very nice copy, 7.0 copy. Season 5, I believe. People Who Live in Brass Hearses. A couple more Raws. Then I got some CGCs to go, a couple of CGCs to show, and then this video will be over. So I thank you for sitting through this so far. It's a long video, I know. We have one of my favorite covers. Vault of Horror number 29. Nice 4.0 copy. Solid 4.0 copy. Maybe a 4.5. I don't think so. I think it's pretty much a solid 4.0. Nothing from the show. Just a very cool, crazy cover. And here we have the last of the Raws. This is definitely a book I probably want to upgrade. It's a 3.5 copy of number 33. Season 6, Let the Punishment Fit the Crime. And then there's season 7, the one that was in England, A Slight Case of Murder. Both of those appeared in this book. Season 4, which is the one I should have mentioned first. I didn't see it at first. See, that's why I write this stuff down, because I can't remember. Season 4, Strung Along. Okay, so it has actually 3. All right, we have a couple of, well, we have 4 slabs, and then we'll be done. And we have a little extra book at the end, all right? This is another Mike purchase. Vault of Horror number 15. Again, like I said with Haunt of Fear, some of those earlier Vault of Horrors, earlier Haunt of Fears are hard to find. They're getting harder to find. Here's number 15. Nice 5.0 copy. In this one here, there is one that appeared on the HBO show, and it's from season 7, the one from England. It's called Report from the Grave. From the Grave. The next one doesn't have anything from the show. Nice 4.0 copy of Vault of Horror number 17. I just love this cover. This is such a great cover. It's just something about Johnny Craig. Sometimes his drawing seems like it's straight from a cartoon. And that's one of the appeals I have, one of the appeals of this book to me. I just love it so much. It's such a great book. Nice 4.0. Here's another Mike purchase. I was able to get a very nice copy of this one. Well, 6.0 at least. Vault of Horror number 31. One from the HBO show. I believe it was season 3, Ease'll Kill You. Pretty good episode. A little different from the actual story, but more or less the same. And here is the last of the Vault of Horrors, the last of the horror books, the last of everything. The bondage cover, Vault of Horror number 39, nice 4.0 copy. 1 was used for the HBO show. Top Billing, which is this. That was the one with John Lovitz and John Astin. When that one first came on, because I watched them all when they first premiered, I didn't appreciate it that much, and I recently watched it because I knew that I needed 30. Obviously, I wanted to get 39, but 39 had Top Billing in it. And I watched Top Billing again, and I realized how funny that episode was, how good it was. It's something that I didn't appreciate when it first came on back in 1990, I suppose. Do yourself a favor and watch that episode. It's pretty good, especially John Astin in it. He's really good in it. Really good. That's about it, everyone. Thank you for staying with me this whole time, this half hour. It's been crazy, right? Crazy stuff. But I just want to show one more book. It's not an EC. Remember I said at the beginning, sort of? The first one was the Dick Tracy one. This is the last one. It's a worthless comic, but look at this. This is crazy. The Nam, or the Nam, number 51. Just goes to show you that there are great covers out there that not necessarily pre-code, but have horror elements to it that you can get at a good, cheap price. Thank you all for watching. Take care.